Okay, so today we are doing Suffer Little Children by the Smiths. So, just by the title alone, this grabbed my attention, and I kind of wanted to do it since my last reaction. And yeah, this was the last track off of I think their debut album, self-titled album. And yeah, so I want to see what this is all about by the title alone, and we'll see how controversial this song seems to be for me right now. Okay, let's go.
Over the moor, take me to the moor, dig a shallow grave and I'll lay me down. Over the moor, take me to the moor, dig a shallow grave and I'll lay me down. Leslie Ann and your pretty white beads, oh John, you'll never be a man, and you'll never see your home again. Oh, Manchester, so much to answer for. Edward, see those alluring lights. Tonight will be your very last night. A woman said, I know my son is dead. I'll never rest my hands on his sacred head. Hindley wakes and Hindley says, Hindley wakes, Hindley wakes, Hindley wakes and says, oh, wherever he has gone, I have gone. But fresh lilac, moorland fields cannot hide the stolid stench of death. Fresh lilac, moorland fields cannot hide the stolid stench of death. Hindley waits and says, Hindley waits, Hindley waits, Hindley waits and says, oh, whatever he has done, I have done. But this is no easy ride, for a child cries, oh, find me nothing more. We are on a solemn estimate. We may be dead and we may be gone, but we will be right by your side until the day you die. This is no easy ride. We will haunt you when you laugh. Yes, you could say we're a team. You might sleep, you might sleep, you might sleep, you will never dream. Oh, you might sleep, but you will never dream. You might sleep, but you will never dream. Oh, Manchester, so much to answer for. Oh, Manchester, so much to answer for. Find me, find me, I'll haunt you when you lie. I'll haunt you when you lie. You might sleep, but you
Okay, so Suffer Little Children from the Smiths. And yeah, I mean, my goodness. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, I guess I could say, to start off. And yeah, I don't really understand, I guess, still the whole meaning of the song. But that's why I like to read about the song after I listen to it because I want to know what the heck it's all about. So yeah, I'll say off the bat, I mean, I don't hate it or anything. I like Morrissey's voice, like I always like it. I almost had like a beachy kind of vibe. I don't know, it's just very calming, instrumental, whatever kind of thing, instruments, and nothing like too loud or obnoxious or anything like that. It was just all very kind of calm and quiet in a way. So yeah, I didn't dislike it or anything. I thought it was worth listening to. So yeah, I'm just gonna see here now about the song from Genius.com. I always have to mention that. So it says, "Suffer Little Children" is the final track on the Smiths' self-titled debut album. It is about the Moors murders. Okay, so yeah, I've never heard of the Moors murders, and I heard Morrissey saying about Moors during the song, and I didn't understand what he was talking about. So yeah, I guess I'll find out now. It says the Morris murders, but only mentions one of the two murderers involved, namely Myra Henley, and the song was extremely controversial upon its release, as some people, including relatives of the murdered children, considered it to be exploitative of am I saying that right? I'm so tired. I don't know. My goodness, they thought it was bad and exploited the tragedy. Many stores, including Woolworths, pulled both the "Heaven Knows a Miserable Now" single with "Suffer Little Children" as its B-side and the LP from their shelves. Well, I mean, "Heaven Knows a Miserable Now." That's a tune right there. I don't care what's on the B side. Morrissey later would establish a friendship with Ann West, the mother of victim Leslie Ann Downey, and she stated she felt the band's motives for recording the song were honorable. Yeah, and so then it goes on. The title likely refers to the biblical quote, "Suffer little children to come unto me," which was apparently chanted at Hindley in jail. So my dog's making noises, but yeah. So anyway, so I see some background here now, and I kind of understand what's going on. And I mean, when I said that it was controversial on its release, I mean, I can understand with the title alone. I mean, especially 1984. I mean, we're talking. I mean, it was not even 10 years before that, like the Sex Pistols were out and stuff, and everyone hated them. So I can see this song just with that title, and some people overreacting, I guess, in a way, or not overreacting, or just reacting the way they did, taking the single off the shelves. And but as it says here, Morrissey later established a friendship with one of the mothers of the victims. I mean, I don't think Morrissey and Johnny Marr and Mike Joyce and who was the other guy? Andy Rourke went into the studio to dishonor the victims or anything. They just wanted to, talk about what they thought about the whole thing. And I mean, that's kind of what music's for, to get your voice out there, and that's what they wanted to do. So I mean, what are you gonna do? People are gonna react how they want to. So anyway, moving on to some annotations here. So from the first verse, it says, "Over the moor, take me to the moor, dig a shallow grave, and I'll lay me down. Over the moor, take me to the moor, dig a shallow grave, and I'll lay me down." So since this song refers to the murders committed by Moore's murderers, Ian Brady and Myra Henley in Manchester, who kidnapped and murdered 5 children between 1963 and 1965. Okay, so this happened like 20 years ago, or not 20 years ago now, but 20 years before the song was even released. So I was thinking it would happen like in the 80s, but I guess it was between 63 and 65. So okay, so there's more thing now. I know more now. So it goes on. Morrissey has said he was deeply saddened and affected by the murders, as he was a similar age to the victims at the time they took place. Okay, yeah, he was inspired to write a song about it after reading a book about the murders. Okay. So now I can see how this is all coming together. So then we move on. It says, "Leslie Ann with your pretty white beads." So it goes on. Leslie Ann Downey is the name of the fourth victim. Okay. "Oh, John, you'll never be a man. and you'll never see her home again. Okay, so he was talking about each victim. Okay, now I really see it. So it goes on. The second victim, John Kilbride, who was only 12 years old when he was murdered. So there's pictures of each child. So yeah, this is cuts deep here. I didn't know what I was getting into on this, and here we are. So moving on. Old Manchester, so much to answer for. Manchester was where the murders were committed. I kind of figured that. Morrissey feels as though the city has a lot of to answer for. This could be due to the amount of time that they were able to kill while going unnoticed, and or due to the fact that no one noticed any connection between the amount of 5 children missing in a similar area in just 2 years. So yeah, it goes on. In Morrissey's autobiography, he says words to the effect that he believes the murders went unnoticed because the victims were for the most part, poor. Okay, were in the poor part of Manchester, and thus they didn't care if they disappeared. So this is kind of a thing I've heard before. I mean, when you had serial killers going around, I mean, especially in these times in the '60s, they would sometimes zero in on poor people or disabled people like or disabled children or poor children because I mean society wouldn't really care. They wouldn't notice that that person was taken away or whatever. So I mean this is another time of those instances and it's very sad. So moving on. So it says, Edward, see those alluring lights? Tonight will be your very last night. So Edward Evans, taken from a railway station, bright lights equals train lights, was the last victim. The killing of him led to the murderers being arrested and imprisoned for their crimes. Okay, well, at least they got in prison finally. Going on. A woman said, I know my son is dead. I'll never rest my hands on his sacred head. Yeah, so it goes on, possibly a reference to Winnie Johnson, the mother of the third victim, Keith Bennett. Up until her death, she never stopped searching for her son's body. Okay, well I mean, this is really depressing stuff here. My goodness. So it goes on. Henley wakes and Henley says, Henley wakes, Henley wakes, Henley wakes and says, oh, wherever he has gone, I have gone. So Henley refers to Myra Henley, one of the two perpetrators of the Moores murders, the other being Ian Brady. In her interrogation, Henley apparently confessed that whatever Ian has done, I have done. Morrissey has altered the quote to use he rather than Ian's name, probably to keep the song's focus on Henley. Also, it just flows better. So yeah, and it goes on. In addition to referring to Myra Henley, this is also a punning reference to the play Handel Wakes. Okay, so yeah, play on words and that. So yeah, I mean, this is all about that murder, I guess. I mean, it's all just tying in together with this now. So it goes on, but fresh lilac moorland fields cannot hide the stolid stench of death. Fresh lilac moorland fields cannot hide the stolid stench of death. And these lines also caught my attention as well with just the stench of death. I mean, those are 3 words right there that you don't want to really hear or smell. So anyway, it says the moors might have be covered with lilac flowers, but even their sweet smell cannot mask the ugly smell of decomposing corpses. Even after the bodies are removed, the smell of death lingers at the place. Yeah, and I've heard that is very true. So then we move on again. We go down. Oh, find me, nothing more. We're on a sullen, misty moor. So the children were buried on the moors, a land area to the east of Manchester. At the time the song was recorded, 2 of the victims' bodies were yet to be discovered, one of which still is. Okay, so I guess even though it was the 80s and this happened in the 60s, I mean, there were still unsolved, mysteries here about the bodies and everything. So I can still see why Morrissey would want to talk about this, especially because he read a book about it. So yeah, it's all coming together for me now. So we move on near the end. So it says, "We may be dead and we may be gone, but we will be right by your side until the day you die. This is no easy ride. We will haunt you when you laugh. Yes, you could say we're a team. You might sleep times 3, but you will never dream. Or you might sleep, but you will never dream. You might sleep, but you will never dream." This part of the song is sung from the point of view of the murdered children. Okay, so yeah, I kind of got that. Who Morrissey hope will remain with and haunt Hindley. She will never dream because she will have nightmares instead. somebody also says the part about not dreaming could speak more to her inhumanity and her inability to feel true emotion. So yeah, when Morrissey was singing those lines, uh, I didn't. Yeah, it was just it's all coming together. I mean, I keep saying that, but I mean, I didn't understand, and just seeing that it's from the point of view of the murdered children. I mean, it just all cuts deeper as well. Oh, Manchester, so much to answer for. And he says it again, and then it says Manchester, the site of these murders was Morrissey's home. The incident affected him greatly. The city has a lot to answer for. Kind of self-explanatory there. And it goes on with the last lines. Oh, find me, find me, find me. This is from the point of view of the two child victims whose bodies were not located at the time. Since the release of the song, one more body has been recovered, but one still remains. Well, I wonder whose body still remains. It doesn't say here, but I'm sure if I looked it up, it would show. I'll haunt you when you laugh. Oh, I'll haunt you when you laugh. You might sleep, but you'll never dream. Oh, over the moors, I'm on the moor. Oh, over the moors, oh, the child is on the moor. So Morrissey believes that they should not be able to feel happiness and they should live in constant reminder of what they did and how wrong it was. Even the most joyous time, laughing, is spoiled and haunted. And it also says, note the background noises. So it says, number one, crying from overwhelming sadness that a parent might feel after a child's death. Number two, laughing from the killers, which accompany the lyrics. And number three, a mixture of both to reflect how the actions of the killers will indeed haunt them. So even when they'll laugh, they'll eventually cry. I think it's probably purposefully left ambiguous to show both emotions. And the child whose body was never found, giving directions to where they were buried. Uh, as it says, over the moor, the child is on the moor. So yeah, I mean that's a lot of annotations there, and a lot of bio. But I mean it's a very important song. Just as something I've never heard. I've never heard of the Moor murders. I mean I don't live in the UK or anything. I don't know. Maybe if I did, I would know a little more. I don't know. But I've just I don't know. I've never heard of it. But I have seen as it shows a picture of Myra Henley. I've seen her face somewhere, and probably in another video or heard of this, I guess, but I just don't remember it ever like actually hearing about it. But she is familiar looking, and yeah, I mean this whole thing was a tragedy, obviously, and yeah, it's just nice. I guess it is nice that the Smiths did a song about it because it kind of exploited the whole thing in a good way. It didn't exploit it. I don't think it exploited it in a bad way. I don't think they were trying to gain publicity for themselves from the song. They were just doing the song because it affected, as Morrissey said, it affected him, and he wanted to write a song about it. So yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, just a kind of a depressing song on a depressing subject at least. And yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but here I am now, and I have a whole new belief, or not belief, I guess, but a whole new vision on the song now. So yeah, it's always nice. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing and commenting, and and all that kind of thing. I really appreciate it, and really appreciate people liking my Smiths reactions because I like to do them. So yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I'll finally end this video. Yeah, almost 20 minutes long. My goodness. All right, goodbye.